another video, a walk on the wild side, and I'm here in Blackpool. Can you see the illuminations behind me? In this video I am going to be taking you down this place right behind me. It's called Middle Walk. Yeah, so there's a view of the tower there. We're looking at it from the north, and you might just be able to see the Metropole Hotel there just underneath to the left there. And this is where Middle Walk starts. It's where the promenade is split up into 3 levels. We have the road level there on the right hand side with the trams and the traffic. Down here we have a lower walk, but this is the section I'm going to be taking you down in this video, Middle Walk. And I'm just going to show you some video that I shot earlier, some aerial footage of Middle. What really sets Middle Walk off is this amazing colonnade structure which runs all the way down from here right up to Gynn Square. This was all completed in 1926, so it's about 95 years old, and you can just imagine back then Blackpool was in its heyday, and there'd be families walking up and down here. This was the place to be seen in Blackpool if you weren't on the piers or on the Golden Mile. If you wanted somewhere a little bit quieter, away from all the bustle, this was the place to be seen. You'd be dressed up to the nines as well. I've seen the old photographs. So that was back in the 20s. But in the last 50 years or so, probably going back to the 1970s, when jet travel started to take the crowds abroad and Blackpool started to go into a bit of a decline. And the same can be said for Middle Walk as well. No longer did people dress up to walk up and down here. It started to attract a different type of character. We have alcoholics, homeless people down here, people drinking. And I think more infamously, Middle Walk has become, in the last few decades, the premier cruising site here in Blackpool. We're not far from the gay village. We are literally 1 block away from the gay village, and I think that's one of the reasons why Middle Walk became the most popular cruising site in Blackpool. So there you go. Like I said, Middle Walk in the first part of its life, the first half of its life, was a really nice place to walk up and down with your family, away from the brashness of the Golden Mile. A nice quiet place away from that hustle and bustle. But in the last 50 years or so, like I said, going back to about 1970s, when Blackpool started to go into decline, this place also started to attract a different type of clientele. So here we have the bright lights of the Blackpool illuminations. And Middle Walk is still a nice place to come down during the day. You know, it's very, very nice to come down during the day. You can watch the sunset, ride your bike, whatever. But at night it becomes a very different place. And that's why I've come down here at night. I'm going to walk you all the way down. You see these steps here which go down onto the beach here? Like I say, you see all sorts of stuff going on down here, I'm telling you. Now, I was down here last year. I was trying to photograph lightning over the tower, and it was an absolute monsoon. There was rain coming down. Oh, it was incredible. So I came down here onto this level here, and I was looking towards the tower there and the Metropole. I'll just play the video now. Now, it's very strange because remember, this was about probably 1 o'clock in the morning. A guy comes running down. He says, "Don't call the Coast Guard." And there was a couple of women behind him as well. They didn't come down the steps. In fact, it was like a waterfall. The steps were like a waterfall. The rain was coming down so hard that it was literally a waterfall. I was surprised I didn't get swept away. But there you go. That's the sort of thing that can happen when you come down here. You meet all kinds of weird and wonderful people. Anyway, it's time to head up to Middle Walk. Let's go, shall we? Okay, so now I've given you a bit of an introduction to Middle Walk. It's time to start heading down there. Okay, so it's now time to start heading down Middle Walk. Now it starts right here, which is just opposite Cocker Square. Now then, we're about an hour after sunset. I'm just looking down. It's quite a nice night as well. Still a bit of light in the sky. We're now about to head down Middle Walk. Will we be able to get to the other side? Let's go, shall we? I'll tell you a bit more about it as we go along. I can hear a lot of horns going off. It's the illuminations are on, the sirens going off. So like I said, Middle Walk has attracted quite a interesting bunch of characters over the last couple of decades. Mainly people that like a drink. We also get quite a few homeless people setting up down here because these colonnades, you know, where the footpath hangs over, it's like a cantilever. It hangs over from the promenade, and it's actually, you know, on a warm day, the heat can be trapped inside these colonnades, which is quite amazing. When you go inside them, you can really feel the heat. We're sort of in front of the Tiffany's Hotel, and this is the Beach Patrol headquarters. So this is the Beach Patrol headquarters here. So you can imagine this goes underneath the footpath here. Oh, look at that view of the tower, isn't it awesome, eh? Yeah, so that's the Beach Patrol headquarters. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head up here now, up this ramp here. And this is what I mean. Can you see how the footpath comes over here now? Now, it might not be too bad down this end, but there are certain sections of this path here where you'll be glad that there's no smell-o-vision on this because you can just imagine, can't you, that this can be used as a toilet. Yeah. Now, it doesn't seem too bad here, to be quite honest, and I think they've actually looked after this part of it here near the Beach Patrol. But as we get a bit further up, we might start to see that it gets a little bit more rough. Now there's 5 of these altogether, these curved bays, and these have the ramps that take you up to the top level. And if you're on the top level, you can also stand out on one of these bays and you get a fantastic view. An absolutely amazing view. So what I'll do is I'll come back down here again and I'll go up another one a bit later on. So we're now coming back down onto the road. There is an actual proper road down here, by the way, which the emergency services use. And if you want to do sea fishing, you can come down this road and you can get there's another ramp that takes you down onto the lower promenade. So I'm now almost opposite the Park House Hotel here on Middle Walk. As you can see, it's quite well lit. I'm not sure if it's always been this well lit. Like I say, in the early hours, this place is not really the place you really want to be coming down, really, to be quite honest. It does have quite a notorious history over the last few decades. There's been attacks down here. There's been homophobic attacks, and there's even been a murder down here. Yeah, there was a murder. It happened in the early hours, and that was back in 2007. I'm not going to talk too much about it in this video because I'll do a video on that specially. Okay, now I'm now opposite the Imperial Hotel. Look at that there. What an imposing hotel that is, especially from down here. We're a lot lower down here on Middle Walk. And I just want to mention something else as well. You know how I said that this is Blackpool's premier cruising site? Well, the character that I use on the avatar, should I say, you know, my profile character, that shadowy figure, that was a cruiser here on Middle Walk. Yeah, I'm just looking down here now. What's this here? Can you see that there? There's a tent on the cliff. What's this all about? There's a tent on the cliff. What's going on here? I'm not sure if you can see that, but it looks like someone's lost their home. There's a tent here that has been blown off. Probably off Middle Walk. Like I said, there are quite a few homeless people that choose to camp along here, and it looks like one of them's lost their tent. Wowzers. Got some guys fishing down here, look, on Lower Walk. Fishing on Lower Walk. Not a bad night actually as well, it's really calm. I'm now up to the third of these curved bays. There's 5 of these all together along this main stretch. Quite a few cyclists coming along here at this time. It's very popular for cycling. Oh, look at that! It's the Great Western Train Tram. Wowzers. Okay, now I'm almost coming up to the Grand Hotel now. Opposite the Grand Hotel. We'll just take a look over here, shall we? I'm going to walk through this bay here. It's not too bad really. There tends to be quite a bit of graffiti as well. Let's see. Doesn't smell too bad actually. So I'm moving right along now. This is the second to the last of these bays. We are out of season now. Oh, well, I say that we've got the illuminations, but quite a lot of the kids are back in school, so it's not quite as packed as what it has been Blackpool. So now lots of people riding the bikes down here. There is quite a, you tend to get police coming down here every night. They always do a patrol down here just to make sure that there's no one getting up to any funny business, you know what I mean? Very quiet tonight, but then again, it's only about 9 PM, so yeah, so I think Middle Walk tends to get more interested in the early hours of the morning. I'm talking 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when this place gets a little bit dodgy. Anyway, let's go up here, shall we? I'll take you onto the promenade. We are going to come out onto the promenade and we'll have a little look around, and I'll show you what you can see from up here. It's an absolutely amazing view. So I've now come out at the top and this is what I can see. This road here is called Wally Road. That's where the Derby Baths used to be. If anyone remembers the Derby Baths. There's a Grand Hotel over there. Looking back down on the promenade there. And as you can see, we're on the top of this bay here. And like I said, when you stood out here, it just gives you a really good view of the tower down there. Look at that, amazing. And when it's the daytime, you get a fantastic view out towards the sea as well. But we're going to carry on down this way right to the very end of Middle Walk. Okay, so I've just come down from that one there, and I have to say it smelt a bit in there, you know. It did smell a little bit in that one. Anyway, we are going to carry on Not far from the end now. Now if I was to tell you some of the stuff that's been going on down here over the past few decades, it'd be enough to make your eyes water. I'm not going to go into detail in this video, I'll just leave it to your imagination. But I remember reading the Gazette years ago, and almost every night there was a story, a report on some assault down here or something like that, someone getting beaten up. You know, it was that bad, it really was. Okay, so I've now reached a ramp here where you can go down onto the lower promenade. Check this out here. We're not far from the end now. Okay, so I'm now just making my way around this bend now. We are almost at the end of Middle Walk. We're now coming up to Gynn Square. We're just coming up the hill here now. We've got Lower Walk just down here, and this is where the Hole in the Wall cafe is. It's just down here, we can't see it. It's too dark, but it's just down there. I can hear that water. Sounds really nice actually, nice and calm night tonight. Oh, look at this. The Spitfire's all lit up. We're here at Gynn Square. We made it. So there you go, that was Middle Walk in the dark, and it was pretty incident free as well, wasn't it? But like I say, it tends to get very interesting down there in the wee small hours, so I might have to come down and do a video after midnight sometime if I'm brave enough. So if you're thinking of going down there yourself in the wee small hours, you might want to think twice unless you're after a certain thing. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you do, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and tick the bell for notifications of new videos, and I will see you again on the next one.